Okay, here's another monthly update of our dividend income, monthly dividends and distributions. I should change the title of this. So, anyhow, for the month of October, we'll just spill the beans right now. Over 15,500 in distributions and dividends for October 2025. And we have covered calls, some BDCs, closed-end funds, dividend ETFs, REITs, we have preferred stocks, and we have income funds. So, like always, subscribe, like the video, turn on notifications, and this is not financial advice at all. In fact, some of these funds people would say they're a bad idea, so keep that in mind. All right, so let's jump into Blossom. So Blossom's like a social network, like a social media for financial type thinking like people. So there's some things I like about Blossom. There's some things I don't like about Blossom. The bottom line, it's social media. So you get people on there and people are negative, people are positive, and everywhere in between. And see a lot of anti cover call people on here. And it's I don't quite get it because it's not like you're investing their money. So I don't really understand it. I don't know. So the theories are that during a downturn, the cover calls won't recover as good and all this other stuff. Everything I'm totally aware of. And the other thing is not all of our money's in cover calls. We got money scattered amongst all types of things here, as my dog wants to get on my lap here. So there he is. So I'll cut that out. Anyhow, Blossom here, you can see my percentage of things that I have in my portfolio. My brokerage accounts are tied to Blossom here, so you can see exactly what I got. Our annual income's over $100,000. It is what it is. So our top holdings here, we have SPY. That's not a covered call. That's a growth fund. Then we have QQQ. That's not a covered call. That's growth fund. Then SPMO. That's not a covered call. That's a growth fund. And then we have QQQI. That is a covered call. Then we have VTI, which is not a cover call. So you can see most of our money, this is cut off here, but most of our money, SPY, QQQ, SPMO, and then you don't see VTI, but over half of our money is in growth funds. Maybe 60% is in growth funds. So the majority of this dividends is in 35 to 40% of our portfolio. So let's take a look at all the stocks so we can see all kinds of things. We'll go over percentages here real quick, and then we'll jump into a spreadsheet and see dollar amounts, how much we got with some of the things. So once again, we got SPY, QQQ, SPMO. These are growth. VTI is growth. Let's see what else we got in growth here. QQQM, that's also growth. And those are probably going to be the big ones right there. So go back up here. Let's see what we got for a cover call fund. So QQQI is a cover call fund. It's my favorite. We have MAGY, which is 4%. Some people say that's crazy. It's only 4%. And then SPY-I is 3.4%. Now, I would have guessed SPY-I would be higher than MAGY in my portfolio, but these numbers probably don't lie. GPIQ is one of my favorites. QDTE used to be a favorite, and it's fallen out of favoritism. FEPI, it was one of my favorites. XPay pays a consistent 20% per year. And then AIPI is a favorite, pays about 34% yield per year. IYRI, which is a same family as QQQI and SPY-I, it pays about 12%, but the underlining is real estate. So that's in there for some diversification. And then we have WPay, which is 1.3%, which is more than what I had guessed. JEPQ, one of my favorites. GIAX, a favorite. GPIX, which is a favorite. TDAC is a favorite. TSPY is a favorite. These two are the same family of funds. QDVO is becoming a favorite, and I'll be adding more to that sometime soon. JEPI is a favorite, but returns are lackluster compared to some of these other ones, but it's okay. And then I start getting into some of the other types of funds, the closed-end funds and the preferred stock funds and some different things. QQQT also pays 20% annually. iDevo pays a low yield, but it has a good overall total return. SPY-T is another one that pays 20% per year. And the NAV has gone down a little bit, but it's okay. Another one of my, I'll call it alternative funds. And then the OMAH is based on Berkshire Hathaway. It's a covered call fund, supposed to return 15%, so it's called Target 15. So the yield is 15%. Then Western Assets Diversified Fund is another alternative. PLTY is a yield max covered call fund using Palantir's underlining. So I bought this when it first came out, bought 100 shares of it. It has returned 180%, I believe, since inception, so a little bit more than a year. So a $10,000 investment would be worth $28,000 today. I just looked that up. Blocks is a favorite. CEFS is another alternative. PFFA is another alternative. Ares Capital, Capital Southwest, FSCO, PBDC. These are all like alternative funds. IQQQ. Here we have a closed-end fund, STK. And then we have some curve funds. And then we have another closed-end fund. We have Robinhood. We have two ETFs. One is the Round Hill, which uses swaps, and then the Yield Max. Then we have the Netflix curve, AMZP curve. We have a couple of curve funds that one is gold and the other one down here is silver. Then we have Apple curve, and then Microsoft, and then Bitcoin, another closed-end fund. We have a gold fund from Niels that I'm just starting to put a little bit of money into to build that up. And then we also have KQQQ, which is another fund by Curve that I'm trying to build up. And then we have some of these I own like less than, I don't know, 50 shares. And they're basically there because I do cover calls and some different things. And I have a few shares of each just to see what's going on with it. And the same thing with SoFi. I have a couple of shares of SoFi that I keep just to keep an eye on things. And so let's see exactly what we have earned for the month of October. I'll scroll up here to the top, October, and then I'll scroll way down here at the bottom. So for here, we got 11,645. And you're thinking to yourself, like, wait a minute, you're a liar. You said it was over 15,000. If I pop open, this is from Robinhood for the month of October right here. We got just about $4,000 here. So this is my other series of videos on my ETF versus my rental house. So getting back to our dividends here, if we go back to the top, I won't spend a lot of time going through all these. So you saw the percentages in the Blossom website. So you see WPay, you see some of these listed multiple times. That's because I have money in multiple accounts a little bit. And so you'll see these like paying a dividend on the same day or a distribution, such as WPay. So we have PDI pays out the first. We have the Round Hill, Bitcoin, YBTC. Must have a couple shares of that somewhere in some hidden some account. We have the GOF. We have the distribution here. And then we have SPY-T, QQQT, which coincidentally paid almost like the exact same amount. And then we have Ulti, which I think I've sold most of those shares. I might have maybe 100 shares tucked away somewhere. And JEPI, JPQ, got these distributions here. And then we have Blocks, which pays weekly. So you see that, take that times 4. We have a QDTE, which pays weekly. So I'll take that times 4 or more, actually. That's in one account, but I have that in multiple accounts. So that should pop up a few more times. MAGY, we have in a separate, a couple different accounts. And IQQQ, which seems low. I need to check on that and see what's going on. So I said GPIX and GPIQ are a couple of my favorites, getting about $600 from those right there. And we have T-SPY here, which $120. That's one of my favorites. I'm eventually probably try to build that account up a little bit more. And then here's that Curve Gold Fund. And we have XPay, $571 every month, just like clockwork, falls into the account. The PLTY, the Palantir, so that went from monthly to weekly. So that amount might change here, and you might start seeing that pop up a few more times. And then we have more blocks, more MAGY, more WPay here. So $300 a week from WPay. And then these curve funds are got a couple here that are paying. These pay monthly, but they got them staggered out through the months. So every Thursday you get some money from Curve, probably average $100 a week from them. And then another PLTY. So now it has gone to weekly. So that's about what we'll be getting on a weekly basis. $297 for Robinhood. So these are paying out a incredibly high yield for right now. And I bought a little bit and still paying out quite a bit. So we'll see how that does. The minute that starts going south, I'll get out of that. But I think I will be able to recoup my original investment in this in about 9 months if it keeps going the way it is. So let's see what else we got. We have MAGY. We have 3 distributions there for $200, and these pay weekly. And here's the Roundhill Robinhood weekly swap. And then more WPay here, $300 a week in that. And TDAC, where'd that go? Pair $190 a month. And some more Curve funds here. So 67 here. Like I said, I think I average about $100 a week when you figure all these up and divide it over a month's time and per week. And let's see what else we got. Another one of those Robinhood payouts, not as good as the other one. Another Palantir. Here's that real estate, Neil's IYRI, $92. And then we have 139 here. So I actually hold that in a couple different accounts, trying to, one's in an IRA, one's in a taxable account. And these are pretty tax efficient. So it's nice to hold QQQI, SPY-I, IYRI. I hold quite a bit of this in taxable accounts. And so all the Neil's funds pay at the same time. Let's go ahead and highlight these. And you see we get $1,500 a month from the Neil's funds. That's nice. And then we have the Round Hill 3 here, $181. And let's see anything else special. So FEPI, we have quite a bit of that. We got $780 total from 2 different accounts. And let's see what else we got here. This is the coin cover call fund. The QDevo I said was becoming one of my favorite. I want to add more to that one. And then here's one of these alternative funds. And then Palantir again down here, paid 124, GIAX 178. And I hold GIAX in a couple different accounts. If I go here, GIAX got 178 here. And then QQQ and SPY. So these are not covered call funds. These are not known for paying big dividends, but we have a little bit of money in these two. We do get a little bit of a chunk of money from distributions from those, even though that's not the goal of those. But anyhow, through our Fidelity accounts, we're at 11,649. And then you add 4,000 to that. So it's 15,600 and some odd dollars. Not bad. That's more than enough to live on. In fact, last month I shifted money from some of these funds. I sold some shares and shifted money back over into SPMO and I think a little bit more into QQQM. which is basically the same as QQQ, but it has lower fees. So anyhow, if you stuck around to the end here, thanks. Hope you didn't get bored. The AI told me that people click on my videos before the end because they get boring. But then they say that happens to 90% of every YouTube video. People don't watch till the end. So if you watch till the end, thank you very much. And don't forget to subscribe, and we'll give you another update in about a month.